We talk a lot about setting boundaries for yourself, right? How to set and enforce boundaries. But people often don't realize there's a difference between setting personal boundaries for yourself in a relationship towards your partner and setting relationship boundaries. They are not the same, although they're heavily associated. See, a personal boundary is something you set for you, that if your partner or someone else around you violates that boundary, it's going to be a poor experience for you physically, mentally, or emotionally. But a relationship boundary is a collaborative effort, meaning that's a boundary or boundaries that you and your partner have both agreed to that are not good for the betterment of your relationship, which means if either of you crosses those boundaries, it won't be good for either of you physically, mentally, or emotionally, right? You both agree that these type of things are off limits because it will impact us as individuals in the equation in a poor mental, physical, or emotional way. So the most important piece when it comes to be able to set relationship boundaries that are healthy and that you and your partner can both agree on is it centers so heavily around your values. You have to be 100% clear on your partner's values and belief systems. What makes them tick? As much as they need to know the same thing about yours. When people don't know these things, it's why they struggle heavily with setting relationship boundaries that them and their partner can both agree to and comfortably and confidently move forward with and apply. See, most times people go in guns blazing, trying to force their partner into respecting a boundary that they would like to be a relationship boundary, but their partner doesn't believe in it. And you'll never get them to buy into it until you're willing to speak to their value structure, understand the why behind the things they don't like or what doesn't work for them boundary wise, or things that do versus yours. Now, some people make along all right because maybe both people, it's a given. We both agree that, I don't know, stepping outside your relationship to cheat or whatever, that's not a healthy thing. It's a boundary violation because if I do that, you'll feel hurt mentally, emotionally, what have you, and vice versa. I feel the same way. So we both agree to that relationship boundary. So that means we're not going to go and intentionally step out and start talking to someone that in a romantic way that is not our partner, not you or not me, right? We can easily agree to that, right? That's a generalized example of a relationship boundary most people will agree to with their partner without any pushback. But when it comes to things like maybe someone thinking it's okay to like pictures of the opposite sex on social media. They think it's harmless, but the other person feels, oh, that's disrespectful or a violation, right? Now we have conflicting belief systems around a boundary. This is why it's so important, instead of trying to force feed what you believe a boundary should be to your partner for the relationship that they have to be a part of, get clear on understanding their why behind the things they're okay with and not okay with. Get clear on what their principles, morals, and standards are, because it's through their standards of what they say is required to live to being the best version of themselves, to be happy, full, and whole. And it's their principles and morals that guide them as a compass that dictates their ability to feel like they're being a healthy, happy, good person. We all want to self-identify as being a good person. And you will find the key pieces to what motivates someone's belief systems based off of what their principles and their morals are that guides reinforcing to them that they're being a good person. So you'll do yourself more justice on having conversations about your partner's value system and why they believe the things they believe in respect to those values, and why those values makes them feel they're being a decent person and a good person, than trying to just force feed a boundary on them that maybe you feel is disrespectful to the relationship and you feel is not honoring it, but they don't see the same thing. So you speak more towards the values with them, because if you can do that, if there is a good point you may have that them liking someone else's pictures on social media is not actually acceptable and it's disrespectful to the relationship and then to you as their partner and all that, then you're going to be more inclined to get a better result out of them seeing and embracing that perspective if you can tie it back to how them taking that action does not honor them being the person they want to be for themselves, how they want to identify, being the moral person that they feel that they are, right? Living by the principles that they've set to make sure they are being a decent human being and so forth. So the next time you want to set a relationship boundary with your partner, right, you can't impose it on them, but you can set it with them. You both must agree to it. Focus more on helping them see how what your perspective is on this boundary ties back to the person they want to be, and how not honoring this boundary that you're proposing, right? Not throwing and enforcing on them, but proposing actually supports the individual they want to be as well, and how by not honoring that boundary, they're actually working against their own goals, against their own vision they see for the relationship themselves. How it's not respecting the relationship for themselves in the equation as much as it's not doing the same for you. And so in order to do that effectively, before you bring this boundary to them, you have to get clear on whatever boundary you're trying to set for the relationship with them. Explain to yourself first, articulate why that boundary is serving both of you guys mentally, physically, or emotionally, right? How it protects both of you, not just for your interests. If you need help building the skills and the tools to have that kind of a conversation effectively with your partner, to set healthy boundaries for the relationship as a whole that honors you both and protects you both, either email or DM me coaching, and we will get to work if you're ready to put the work in. Let's get it.